Greetings, environmental epidemiology class, and in this particular video we're going to discuss how to make an online PowerPoint or Prezi presentation for the actual article presentation for the class. We'll discuss the rubric some as well, but the first thing I want to do is let you know that you can use PowerPoint or Prezi or any type of presentation tool you want to use, whether it be Google's got some options that are out there as well. So you can use whatever presentation format you want to use to accomplish the objectives in the rubric. Now your presentations will be recorded and you'll share those presentations with me, and then I will then share it with probably 4 or 5 of your classmates in class, so that we get the benefit of sharing amongst each other, and that your classmates view a certain number of presentations as well. And I will randomly assign those, and everybody will have an equal number of presentations. So it's good to know that we're doing this all together. All right, with that said, you'll be able to do a screencast recording of your presentation, whatever it may be on, and you'll be able to roll through your presentation as you feel fit. If you're using the free version of Screencastomatic to do this, and you start off with your picture at all in it, you may show up in the corner like so. The paid version allows you to disappear. You have the ability in this class to also, if your computer does PowerPoint, and when you open up your PowerPoint slides, you can also go up to the top, and there is a record slideshow option, so you can actually record a video that way. So you actually record the slideshow. The other option, the one that I'm presenting you right now, is with Screencastomatic, where you can actually use this. I'm logged in currently, but you could click on Start Recording for free, and you're allowed to record 15-minute videos that capture everything that's going on your screen. And with a computer, your microphone, if your microphone's hooked up to the computer, you can do an audio recording of your PowerPoint slides. So this is Screencastomatic.com, and then down the bottom right-hand corner on the, I think the non-free version, or the free version, on the free version it might have like their logo or something, but don't worry about that. We don't care. And if you keep your video under 15 minutes, you'll be able to do this. So if you have another way you want to make a video, rather than uploading it in terms of a video file to Blackboard, you'll be able to do that as well if it's like a web link or something like that. So if you figure out a way to make a web link that will accommodate, that will be fine too. So if you have a YouTube link and you make a YouTube video for your presentation, that would be just fine. So I think PowerPoint videos and Screencast-O-Matic videos all should be able to be uploaded to Blackboard through the Assignments tab that I'm going to create for the presentation. And as long as they don't exceed something like 100 megabytes, they should be okay. And many of these Screencast-O-Matic videos that are 15 minutes in length are usually 20 to 40 megabytes, if I recall. So you should be okay on that. And in terms of what will go into the presentation, I've got a rubric that I've provided once before. So I've done one thing with this rubric since I gave it to you guys, or let you see it the first time, and that's down here. Originally I had it saying that you had 8 to 10 minutes. I've since expanded that since you probably would actually want more time to do this. Believe it or not, it's harder to present everything succinctly. So I've got a rubric that I've uploaded, article presentation rubric. It's here on Blackboard, and now it says 9 to 11 minutes, 8 to 12 minutes, 7 to 13 minutes, 6 to 13. So 9 to 11 is the sweet spot. 8 to 12 is pretty good. So you get points for all these different areas. All right. So as we go through this, the first area talks about the readability and the appearance. So you want slides that obviously are able to be readable. They use big enough fonts. Some pictures are usually nice. If you're making tables, when the tables are showing up on the screen, they should be clearly readable. What we don't want is some table that when it's on the screen is so tiny or difficult to read. If you're presenting something from a scientific paper, which I can pull up some type of paper, you can do a screen capture of a table, for example, capture the information you need, and then if you want to put in the table, insert picture from file, and you've got a screen capture, you can put your screen captures in. If there's a part of the table that is most important, you may double click on this in some way, and you might get to a crop area. You can crop the section that's most meaningful. And then enlarge it so that it's readable. But don't distort it so bad that it's looking tacky. It may be in your best interest, like I did here on this particular slide, to make your own table so that it shows up clearly and emphasizes the part of the paper that you want it to discuss the most. You don't have to discuss everything in the paper. So we'll go through this rubric one by one on things that might be of value for you. So again, you want it to look clean. You want your slides to have sufficient white space or unused space. If you're using a black background or dark background, you want unused space. You don't want it looking overly crowded. Bullets are better to use, or numbers. Don't be putting long sentences. PowerPoints are not made for sentences. These are supposed to be slideshows. Your talking should help make this presentation better. We don't need to read it. I'd be asking for a paper, or just send us the papers. Your job is to discuss and tell us. Maintaining eye contact and all that's not necessarily going to be as important. So being able to hear you on the computer screen, though, and being able to read what you've got on the screen is going to be important. Title and overview. Your title slide should include the title of the paper. If there's a lot of authors, you don't have to list all of them. You can just list the first one and then say, and others, or just tell us there's a lot of authors. Where did the money come from? If you know that information, you don't necessarily need to put this on the first slide. You can put it on a second slide, but where did the money come from, and how good of a journal are we talking about here? Remember, journal impact. We talked about journal impact. You could Google search impact factor, and if you did a journal like, obviously like Lancet's a really good one, it tells you the impact factor. If it's an obscure journal, like the Journal of Environmental Health, it's not going to be able to find it. This is not the Journal of Environmental Health. This is the International Journal of Hygiene and Environmental Health. This journal, the NEHA journal, is the Journal of Environmental Health, but guess what? You're not going to find their impact factor because it's not very good. So if you want to find the impact of a journal that may be more of an obscure journal, rather than using the impact factor that you could find from something like Google or a journal that publishes a reputable impact factor. This particular journal has their impact factor, 2-year impact, 5-year impact, and this is based off of like this SciMago journal rank, or that's where that is. So these are credible impact factors based on journal citation reports. But if you want to look for another way, you can type in Google Journal Metrics and click on the Google Journal Metrics, and in the top right corner of this in Google Scholar, you can type in the name of the journal, Journal of Environmental Health. And then you can find it, and there it is. And the H5 index would be something that you could use. And the H5 index is 13, which is not very high. So it's just good to know. If you want to use this for a different journal, Applied and Environmental Microbiology, there is the H5 index. It's 70. So you could put that information on the cover slide, journal impact factor, or you could put H5 index, or you could put both of them. Next, you want to let us know, where did the money come from for this particular project? Who paid for this work? And then, are there any places that were thanked, certain hospitals or funding entities or major contributors that are in the acknowledgement section that you want to put up there? The goal here is for you to be producing a presentation almost as if you were developing this for a presentation to the public, and if you were in the audience or in the kind of the author's shoes, you're providing a critique of this article and summarizing it for some other folks. So it's a good practice to see how epidemiology is done. All right, so hopefully that part makes sense. We can go back to the actual rubric a little bit more here. So you're going to provide some background information, include some references. Did they have any hypotheses stated in their presentation? So here's the introduction. You're giving a presentation. You should be talking through this. You should include some peer-reviewed references. If you do use sentences, keep them brief. All right. Generally, you can use 3 to 4 slides to move through this. Several citations should be included. I'm going to give you guys some practical examples of presentations or that have been given by your colleagues or your fellow students in the past. You should mention if they had an IRB approval, what the protocol number was, who made the determination that the research was ethical and able to be done. So what institution granted the approval? When did the study occur? Where did it occur? You're going to want to give plenty of time to discuss the results. We want to focus on those odds ratios and rate ratios, and you need to articulate your understanding of those results. You're going to discuss how those results are meaningful, how those results may fit within the context of other studies, and then you're going to want to state their limitations. And then lastly, you're going to want to focus on the major high points. What were the big findings? You'll provide a references slide, and then you don't have 8 to 10 minutes, 9 to 11 minutes is kind of optimal. So I'm going to go through a sample presentation here on another video to give you a better handle of it. All right, so if you have questions on any of this, you can always email me at jason.marion@eku.edu. And I'm going to stop here at 15 minutes.